You probably think your dog only looks at you with those deep pleading eyes because you are holding a piece of savory chicken or a crispy biscuit. You believe that their affection is merely a clever transaction, a survival mechanism wrapped in fur designed to secure their next meal. But the truth is far more extraordinary than that. And when you understand what science has actually found inside the canine mind, the way you look at this everyday interaction will change completely. Most people have no idea that what looks like a simple desire for food is actually a highly sophisticated manifestation of emotional alignment, which means they are missing something profound happening right in front of them every single day. Your dog isn't just an opportunistic scavenger acting out a basic hunger drive. They are a deeply complex psychological partner processing your relationship with incredible cognitive depth. And that simple decision to sit quietly, stare into your eyes, and accept a tiny treat reveals more about their capacity for profound trust and evolutionary connection than any surface explanation ever could. You have heard the cynical misconception that dogs only view humans as walking vending machines that provide biological sustenance. But don't make the mistake of thinking that explains what is happening when your dog watches your hand reach into the treat jar. In 2016, researchers at Emory University's Canine Cognition Lab, led by Dr. Gregory Burns, published findings that stopped the animal behavior community in its tracks. They discovered that the domestic dog possesses what scientists call differential codec activation, a specialized neural processing system that allows them to weigh social rewards against food. Here's what that means in plain language. When a dog expects a reward, their brain does not just register raw calories or survival metrics. Instead, the reward centers of their brain light up with equal or even greater neurological intensity when they receive a warm, loving word from you compared to when they receive a piece of food. Here's what that means. When that reward action happens, their brain is doing a complex thing, cross-referencing the pleasure of food with the value of your approval. Dogs evolved this ability specifically through 30,000 years of shared history and domestication alongside human tribes. They developed a unique biological mechanism that prioritizes human social connection over basic solitary survival traits. Wild wolves don't do this. Captive primates don't do this. Only dogs have this unique capability to fuse nutrition with genuine emotional validation. What scientists discovered next about how this internal neural processing changes their daily physical interactions we'll get to later in this video. And when you hear it, it will hit differently than you expect. Think about what happens when you're sitting on the couch and your dog walks over, sits down, and stares intently at you while you hold a treat. For years, people called this simple, begging or conditioned behavior and left it at that. But researchers started asking a different question. What is actually happening in their nervous system during that moment? A 2018 study from Duke University's Canine Cognition Center measured heart rate variability in domestic dogs during these exact feeding scenarios. Here's what they found. When dogs were offered food from an automated mechanical dispenser, their physiological response showed a sharp 40% spike in basic adrenaline, followed by a rapid drop. But when the exact same treat was offered directly by their human owner, their heart rate stabilized into a remarkably calm rhythmic pattern, showing an extended evaluation period where they focused almost entirely on the human face rather than the food. Here's the part that stops most people in their tracks. The dogs weren't just focusing on the physical treat, they were tracking the emotional state of the person delivering it. Not just any random human, specifically your expressions, your breathing patterns, and your unique presence in this specific moment. They were reading your micro-expressions, your vocal tone, and your subtle physical posture, and cross-referencing it with their memory of your past emotional patterns. If this is changing the way you see this specific moment right now, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. We cover what your pet actually means, not what we assume it means. Up next is one of the strangest discoveries of all. When you look at a close friend or a romantic partner while sharing an important moment, your brain naturally syncs up with theirs to predict their next move. Scientists call it allocentric mentalizing, and it is one of the most sophisticated cognitive behaviors in the animal kingdom. Here's what is extraordinary. Dogs do the exact same thing human infants do when they are trying to decode the hidden intentions of their parents. But they do this only with a human partner with whom they share an established emotional bond. When researchers at the University of Vienna's Clever Dog Lab tested domestic dogs in problem-solving environments, showing them a hidden treat box that required cooperative movement, the dogs consistently looked away from the puzzle to make prolonged eye contact with their owner. They exhibited this specific behavior only when the owner was actively looking back at them, not when the owner turned away, and not when a completely stranger offered the same treat. They are evaluating your intent with a precision that took thousands of generations to develop. That's why your dog tilts their head or pauses before taking a treat from your hand. It is not about simple obedience or hesitation. It is about accessing an intricate social database. Your dog has thousands of micro-interactions and data points stored in their memory about you specifically, and they are using that database to predict what will happen if they choose option A versus what will happen if they choose option B. Most people assume that when a dog wags its tail while receiving a treat, it means a simple interpretation of pure joy. But scientists discovered something that changes that assumption entirely. It's not just whether they move their tail. It's how they swing it, where they position their weight, and the subtle angle of their ears. When you offer a treat and they are genuinely feeling a secure social bond, they show what researchers call right-sided lateralized caudal oscillation. Their tail moves distinctly toward the right side of their body, while their eyes stay soft and relaxed. Their ears move slightly backward into a gentle posture. When you hold a treat but they have evaluated that the environment is stressful, based on an unfamiliar sound or their memory of a past negative event, they show left-sided avoidance bias. They wag their tails subtly to the left, their body remains tense, and their eyes widen significantly. And here's what makes it even more remarkable. Other dogs can read this instantly. If you have multiple dogs and one approaches the treat jar while showing a right-sided social signal, the others will often remain calm because they are reading the same cooperative cues. So your dog isn't just performing a mindless physical reflex. They are talking to you, and they have been doing it every single day, waiting for you to listen. There's one final discovery that ties all of this together. And once you hear it, everything else starts to make sense. You're not just your dog's food source master or simple provider, and there is a profound neurochemical reason for that. In 2015, a landmark study published in the journal Science by researchers at Stanford University made headlines around the world. Researchers found that when a dog and their human companion gazed into each other's eyes during positive reinforcement and reward sharing, both the dog and the human showed significant synchronized increases in oxytocin, the exact same hormone, a neurotransmitter responsible for maternal bonding, deep trust, and empathy. The same chemical cascade that creates the most powerful attachment bond in human biology. Let that sit for a moment. Your dog's brain releases the exact same chemistry that humans use to bond with their children, their partners, and their deepest connections. And when you look back at them and smile, yours does too. This is not sentiment. This is not unscientific. Anthropomorphism. This is fully documented biological reciprocity that redefines the human-canine relationship. And remember what we talked about at the very beginning, how differential caudate activation proves their brain values your social praise just as much as the food itself. And remember how they track your specific micro-expressions to measure your safety? This chemical loop is exactly what those 30,000 years of evolutionary coexistence were building toward. You are the structural center of their differential caudate activation. You are the specific focus of their careful behavioral tracking. You are the human partner they choose for allocentric mentalizing. You are the listener they communicate with through every right-sided tail movement. Your dog doesn't see a walking food dispenser. They don't see a transactional relationship built on simple survival. They see a foundational protector, a true partner, and a source of profound emotional security. They see you. And to them, that is everything.